chosen ones. Right now, this very moment, people are watching you with their mouths half open. Your energy shifted so drastically that even strangers feel it when you walk into a room. Whatever you're posting online is stopping people mid-scroll. They're screenshotting, sharing, obsessing. Your haters are hate-watching every single thing you do while pretending they're not. And the beautiful part, you're doing exactly what you want without asking for permission or approval from anyone. Here's what they never told you about spiritual awakening. The moment you stop playing their game and start living by divine rules, you become magnetic in ways that terrify people who are still performing. You're not following the script anymore, you rewrote it. And anything you create now turns heads because it comes from a place of pure, unfiltered truth. They spent years trying to program you, control you, dim you. Now they're watching you glow up in real time, and they can't look away even though it hurts them to witness. This message will show you exactly why your transformation is driving certain people insane and how to use this new power without apology. You carried something heavy for years, a burden that made you walk carefully, made you edit yourself, made you shrink in spaces where you should have expanded. You thought you needed certain people, thought you had to prove yourself worthy of basic respect, thought maybe if you just worked harder, gave more, sacrificed another piece of yourself, they'd finally see your value. That weight is gone now. You can't even pinpoint the exact moment it fell away. Maybe it was during that last betrayal when you finally saw the pattern clearly. Maybe it was when you realized the people you treated like family were praying for your downfall behind closed doors. Maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe you just woke up one morning and decided you were done performing for an audience that never appreciated the show. Whatever catalyst sparked it, you're different now. Your shoulders sit differently. Your voice comes out steadier. You move through the world like someone who knows something everyone else is still trying to figure out. And they notice. Oh, they notice. The same people who overlooked you before are suddenly interested in what you're doing. The same ones who took your kindness for weakness are realizing they misread the entire situation. You weren't weak, you were patient, you weren't naive, you were waiting for them to reveal exactly who they were. And they did. Every single one of them showed you their hand eventually. You clocked it all, the fake love, the hidden jealousy, the ones who smiled in your face while secretly hoping you'd fail, the ones who needed you small so they could feel big. You saw through every performance, every manipulation, every attempt to make you doubt yourself, and instead of confronting them, instead of wasting energy on people who didn't deserve your attention, you simply moved differently. Life has this funny way of rearranging itself. For so long you sat at a table where you couldn't see all the players. You were focused on your own growth, your own path, your own purpose. You weren't watching who was watching you, weren't tracking who was secretly competing with you, weren't counting the ones who wanted to use you as their golden ticket to success. But tables turn, and when they do, everything becomes visible. Now you can see everyone who was preying on your downfall. You can see the neighbors who gossiped, the family members who doubted, the friends who weren't really friends at all. They're all there, exposed in the light, realizing you're no longer the person they thought they could control or manipulate or use. This clarity hit you like cold water, not painful, just awakening. You're not angry about it. You're not even surprised. You always suspected. Now you just know. And knowing changes everything about how you move. Chid's standing on business now, not in an aggressive way, not with bitterness or resentment, just with an unshakable certainty about who you are and what you're here to do. When you stand on business, you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your choices, stop seeking permission from people who don't have authority over your destiny. The ones who tried to slow you down are confused. They threw obstacles in your path, expecting you to stumble. They created drama, expecting you to get distracted. They spread rumors, expecting you to defend yourself. Instead, you just kept walking, kept building, kept glowing, and your refusal to engage with their chaos drove them crazy. Some of them are still trying, still attempting to bait you into reactions, still hoping you'll turn into the villain of their story so they can justify how they treated you. But you're not giving them that satisfaction. You learned something powerful during those hard times. You learned that your energy is currency, and you're no longer spending it on people who can't afford you. Freedom tastes different when you've been caged, not physically caged, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally trapped in other people's expectations, other people's limitations, other people's fears projected onto your possibilities. You lived in that cage for years without even realizing it, shaped yourself to fit through bars that were never meant to hold you in the first place. Then liberation came, not all at once, but in waves. First you stopped caring what they thought, then you stopped needing their approval, then you stopped believing their version of who you were, then you stopped giving them access to your peace. Each release brought more lightness until you could barely remember what that heaviness felt like. This is your liberated era. People can see it in how you move, how you speak, how you exist without apology. You're not performing anymore, not auditioning for roles in other people's narratives, not editing your truth to make others comfortable. You're just being, fully, completely, unapologetically being yourself, and it's magnetic. Rontras, if this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it. The posts you're sharing now feel different because they come from a different place. Before you worried about perception, worried about offending someone, worried about looking too confident or not polished enough or too different. Now, you post what resonates with your spirit and move on. You say what needs to be said and don't wait for applause. You create from overflow, not from obligation, and people are falling in love with it, with you, with this version that's finally visible. Some of them don't even understand why they're so drawn to your energy now. They just know something shifted. You seem freer, more genuine, more powerful in a way that doesn't need to announce itself. You carry yourself like someone who survived something that should have destroyed them and came out laughing. That's the energy everyone wants but few people earn. You earned it through every betrayal that didn't break you, every disappointment that redirected you, every loss that later revealed itself as protection, every closed door that forced you to build your own entrance. Something happens when you stop sugarcoating reality, when you stop pretending everything's fine when it's not, when you stop protecting people from the consequences of their own actions. You become a walking truth serum. Your presence alone makes people uncomfortable if they're living in deception. You're scary accurate now. People call you prophetic, a seer. They wonder how you know things before they happen, how you sense shifts before they're visible, how you predict outcomes with unsettling precision. This isn't fortune-telling, this is spiritual sensitivity at its peak. You're tapped into frequencies most people can't access. When you speak, your words leave people shook. They'll replay what you said days later, realizing you told them exactly what would happen. Your prayers carry weight that bends reality. Your affirmations reshape circumstances. Your declarations create openings where there were walls. This is beyond positive thinking. This is divine authority flowing through your voice. The lyrics you listen to aren't random either. The songs that get stuck in your head contain messages you need to hear. The verses that make you cry are healing something deep inside. Even your subliminals are working at levels you don't consciously recognize. Everything is aligning, everything is speaking, everything is conspiring to elevate you. This is one of your gifts, though you might not have recognized it as such. You naturally uncover what's hidden, not because you're suspicious or paranoid, but because you're tuned to frequency of authenticity. Lies vibrate differently than truth. Manipulation has a distinct texture. You can feel when something's off, even if you can't name it yet. For a long time, people took advantage of this gift. They knew you could see them clearly, so they worked overtime to convince you that your perception was wrong, gaslit you into doubting what you knew, made you feel crazy for noticing the things you noticed, told you that you were too sensitive, too suspicious, too much. But you're not too anything. You're exactly right. Your intuition was correct every single time you questioned someone's motives, every time you felt uneasy about a situation, every time you suspected betrayal before evidence appeared. You were right, and now you trust that knowing without needing external validation. This makes you dangerous to people who live behind masks. Your presence threatens their performance. They can't maintain the illusion when you're around because you see through it effortlessly. So they try to push you away, discredit you, make you the problem. Standard playbook for people who can't handle being seen. You're not fazed anymore. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them squirm. Let them reveal themselves through their reactions to your authenticity. You're not here to make liars comfortable. You're here to speak truth and let it land wherever it needs to. The world needs people who aren't afraid to call out what's really happening, who won't participate in collective delusions, who refuse to pretend that wrong is right just to keep the peace. You're becoming that person, already are that person. And it's not making you popular with everyone, but it's making you powerful. Money's coming, resources are flowing, opportunities are appearing that weren't visible before. This isn't random, this isn't luck. This is spiritual inheritance activating. You broke curses that were meant to keep your bloodline stuck. You shattered limitations that generations before you accepted as unchangeable. You refused the poverty mindset, the scarcity thinking, the belief that struggle equals virtue. Some people around you are uncomfortable with your abundance. They preferred you struggling, not because they're evil, but because your lack made them feel better about their own limitations. Your success forces them to confront the excuses they've been making. Your prosperity proves that the barriers they claimed were insurmountable can actually be overcome. Watch how they try to slow you down now. Not directly, because that would be too obvious. They'll do it subtly, plant doubts, suggest you're moving too fast, remind you of past failures. Question your decisions, act concerned while secretly hoping you'll sabotage yourself. You're not falling for it. You recognize the energy of people who want to see you win versus people who need you to lose so they can feel okay about themselves. And you're cutting cords accordingly, quickly, decisively, without guilt. This is your season of yes. Yes to opportunities that excite you. Yes to risks that feel aligned. Yes to investments in yourself. Yes to pleasure. Yes to rest. Yes to everything you've been denying yourself while you waited for permission that was never coming. You're a lucky charm now. Not in a superstitious way, but in a spiritual reality way. Things work out for you in ways that defy logic. Parking spots open up, deals fall through for others and land in your lap. Money shows up from unexpected sources, doors open that weren't even on your radar. This is your lucky era. Synchronicities follow you everywhere. You're in the right place at the right time repeatedly. This isn't coincidence. This is divine orchestration rewarding your faithfulness, observing whether you'd maintain integrity when resources were limited, checking if you'd stay generous even when you didn't have much to give. You passed every test, gave when you were broke, helped when you were hurting, stayed kind when people deserved your anger. Now comes the reward season. Not because you were perfect, but because you were faithful. Not because you never stumbled, but because you kept walking. Not because you had it all figured out, but because you trusted the process even when you couldn't see the path. Receive it without apologizing, without dimming yourself to make others comfortable, without explaining why you deserve good things. You know why. The universe knows why. That's enough. You've been magnetic since birth. This isn't new. What's new is that you finally believe it. You spent years doubting your appeal, questioning why people were drawn to you, wondering if maybe you were imagining the attention. You weren't imagining anything. You just weren't ready to own that power yet. Now you're ready, and the shift is visible. People who knew you before are doing double takes, asking what changed, wanting to know your secret. The secret is simple. You stopped hiding, stopped playing small, stopped apologizing for taking up space. You decided to just be, and that decision changed everything. The content you're creating now has different energy. It's not trying to convince anyone of anything, not seeking validation, not chasing approval. It just exists as an expression of who you are, and people can't look away. Even your haters are watching, especially your haters. They're obsessed with tracking your every move, hoping to find something to criticize, secretly envious of the freedom you embody. Let them watch. Their attention is still energy. Their hate is still engagement. Their obsession with your downfall is still an acknowledgement of your power. You're living in their head rent-free while you're out here building empires and falling in love and experiencing joy they can't imagine. Some of you are about to go viral, not because you're trying to, but because authenticity is rare enough that when people encounter it, they want to share it. Your refusal to perform, to edit, to pretend is refreshing in a world full of carefully curated facades. You're giving people permission to be themselves by being so unapologetically yourself. Others watching you are falling in love, real love, not the shallow attraction based on image, but deep recognition of your spirit. They see your resilience, your strength, the light you maintained through dark seasons. They see someone who survived what breaks most people and emerged more beautiful for it. This attention might feel overwhelming sometimes. You're not used to being seen like this. You're used to being underestimated. But get comfortable with visibility. It's your new normal. The universe didn't bring you through all that just to keep you hidden. You're meant to be witnessed, meant to inspire, meant to show others what's possible when you refuse to quit. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. Random the beauty is, you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today. Join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. You're blocking people like it's your job now. And honestly, it kind of is. Your peace is your priority. Your energy is your currency. Your space is sacred. Anyone who threatens those things has to go. No explanations. No second chances for people who showed you exactly who they were the first time. This isn't cruelty. It's self-preservation. It's honoring yourself the way you used to honor people who didn't deserve it. It's treating your life like the precious thing it is, instead of like a revolving door anyone can walk through whenever they feel like it. People are shocked by your new boundaries. They're used to you being accommodating, used to you giving chances, used to you tolerating disrespect because you were too kind to call it out. Those days are over. You're allergic to nonsense now. Your system rejects it immediately. Watch how they try to guilt you. They'll say you've changed. You'll say thank you. They'll say you're being difficult. You'll say you're being protective. They'll say you're not the same person. You'll say exactly. That's the point. They want the old you back because the old you was easier to take advantage of. The new you isn't interested in proving anything to anyone. Not interested in maintaining connections that drain you. Not interested in defending your choices to people who wouldn't support them anyway. You're focused, intentional, selective about who gets access to your energy. Some people will call this cold. Let them. You call it wisdom. You call it growth. You call it finally understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup and you spent too many years running on fumes, trying to light up rooms full of people who never appreciated your warmth. The ones who matter will understand. The ones who don't understand don't matter. This discernment is a superpower. Use it liberally. Your future self will thank you for every boundary you enforce now. Mind games that used to work on you backfire spectacularly now. Someone tries to manipulate you emotionally and it blows up in their face. Someone attempts to gaslight you and ends up exposing themselves. Someone plays hot and cold and you simply walk away without looking back. You're not participating in toxic patterns anymore. You see the games before the first move is even made. Your ability to clock manipulation instantly protects you from wasting time on people who don't deserve your energy. You're not moving through this world alone. There's protection around you that wasn't there before. Or maybe it was always there, and you're just now aware of it. Either way, you feel it, a sense of being guided, guarded, covered in ways that go beyond human understanding. This is what happens when you align with your purpose, when you stop fighting your destiny and start cooperating with it. The universe mobilizes on your behalf. Angels, ancestors, divine forces you don't even have names for. They're all working to clear your path and protect your journey. Chompadet Sadie, you've noticed how attacks that used to land now bounce off you, how people who try to curse you end up cursing themselves, how obstacles that should stop you somehow move out of your way at the last moment. This isn't coincidence, this is divine intervention. You're covered. The enemy is real. Make no mistake about that. There are forces that want to see you fail, want to keep you stuck, want to steal your joy and your progress and your destiny. But here's what they didn't count on. You're not fighting this battle alone, and the power protecting you is greater than any power opposing you. Stand firm in that knowing. Move with confidence. Make bold decisions. Take risks that terrify you. You're not gonna fall. Even if you stumble, you won't stay down. The same force that brought you through everything else is still with you, still guiding you, still fighting battles on your behalf that you don't even see. This spiritual protection makes you fearless, not reckless but fearless. You're not afraid of failure because you know it's just redirection, not afraid of loss because you trust its protection, not afraid of people's opinions because you know whose opinion actually matters. Walk in that authority, speak with that confidence, create with that assurance. You're untouchable when you're aligned with divine purpose, and right now, you're more aligned than you've ever been. Your thoughts are manifesting faster than ever before. Pay attention. What you focus on expands rapidly now. The gap between intention and manifestation is shrinking. This is exciting but also requires responsibility. You can't afford negative thinking patterns when your mind is this powerful. You noticed it already. Small things you think about show up quickly. Conversations you imagined happen. People you think about reach out. Opportunities you visualized appear. This isn't magic. This is alignment. When you're vibrating at the right frequency, the universe responds immediately. But it works both ways. Negative thoughts manifest just as quickly. That morning you got frustrated and spiraled into negativity. See how things went wrong immediately after. See how you had to course correct and reset. That's your sign to guard your mind more carefully. Stay positive. Not in a toxic positivity way where you ignore real problems, but in a powerful way where you refuse to give fear and doubt the authority to shape your reality. When something goes wrong, catch yourself. Redirect your thoughts. Choose faith over fear. Choose trust over anxiety. Choose possibility over limitation. Your words carry weight now too. What you speak begins to materialize. This is why you're becoming more careful about what you say, more intentional with your declarations, more aware that you're not just talking, you're creating. Affirm what you want. Speak it into existence. Declare it over your life. Call those things that are not as though they were. This isn't delusion. This is how creation works. Everything that exists now was once just a thought. Your thoughts are becoming things faster than you realize. This acceleration is preparation for what's coming. The universe is training you to handle more abundance, more influence, more responsibility, more impact. You can't manage that level of blessing with scattered, undisciplined thinking. So you're learning now, mastering your mind, taking control of your internal narrative. Keep going, stay vigilant, maintain the frequency. Everything you're dreaming about is on its way. The fact that your manifestations are speeding up is proof you're on the right track. Remember who you were before all this. That version of you that walked on eggshells, that worried about everyone else's comfort, that dimmed her light so others wouldn't feel overshadowed. That person seems like a stranger now. You barely recognize who you used to be. This transformation wasn't pretty while it was happening. It was messy, painful, confusing. You lost people you thought you'd keep forever, watched relationships dissolve that you thought were solid, faced betrayals that shook your faith in humanity, endured seasons of isolation that made you question everything. But that was the makeover, the breaking down of old patterns, the shedding of identities that never fit, the stripping away of everything that wasn't authentically you. And now you're standing in the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You're the whole package now, not because you added things, but because you removed everything that was covering up your true self. The confidence isn't fake, the peace isn't performance, the joy isn't forced. This is real. This is earned. This is you. People are mesmerized watching this transformation. They saw you in the before, saw you struggling, saw you hurting, saw you barely hanging on. Now they see you thriving, glowing, winning. They can't figure out how you did it. What's your secret? What's your routine? What's your strategy? Tumpen subben tubben 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 This isn't the final form, but it's a powerful form. A form that turns heads, a form that opens doors, a form that attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones, a form that's ready for everything you've been preparing for. Own it, celebrate it. Don't downplay this transformation because it makes others uncomfortable. You earned every bit of this glow up, every bit of this confidence, every bit of this peace. Let them watch. Let them wonder, let them be inspired or envious. Either way, keep shining. You know why you're here now. Finally, after years of confusion and searching and trying different things, you know, the clarity hit like lightning. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is who you're supposed to be helping. This is the message you're supposed to be sharing. That knowing changes everything. You're not second-guessing yourself anymore. Not wondering if you're good enough or qualified enough or ready enough. You just know that this is your assignment, and when you know that, nothing can stop you. The devil tried. Oh, he tried, sent distractions, sent discouragement, sent people to undermine you, sent situations to make you doubt, sent opportunities that looked good but would have taken you off course. You saw through it all, stayed focused, kept your eyes on the prize. Now you're unstoppable. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because nothing can derail you. You're locked into your purpose with laser focus. People can talk, circumstances can challenge you, obstacles can appear. You're still moving forward, still building, still creating, still impacting. This is the season where you go all in. No more playing it safe, no more backup plans, no more keeping one foot out the door in case it doesn't work. You're committed, fully in, ready to see how far this thing can go when you stop holding back. The universe rewards that kind of commitment. Watch how doors open now, how resources appear, how people show up to help, how everything you need arrives right on time. This is what happens when you step fully into your purpose. The whole cosmos conspires to support you. You're a vessel now, not in a passive way, but in a powerful way. You're channeling something bigger than yourself, speaking words that need to be heard, creating content that changes lives, offering perspectives that shift paradigms. This isn't about you anymore. It's about what moves through you, and that's why you're so powerful right now. It's not ego. It's not arrogance. It's just certainty. You know you're aligned. You know you're obedient. You know you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to do. That knowing is unshakable. Keep going. Don't slow down now. Don't second guess. Don't look back. The world needs what you're building. The people need what you're sharing. Your purpose needs your full commitment. Give it everything. This is your moment. This hardship was your biggest blessing. You see that now. Every painful moment taught you something essential. Every betrayal revealed something necessary. Every loss cleared space for something better. You wouldn't be who you are without everything you survived. The people who tried to break you actually made you stronger. The situations that almost destroyed you actually prepared you for this level. The seasons of isolation actually connected you deeper to yourself and to the divine. It all worked together for your good. Now you're in your victory lap. Not the end of the race, but that moment where you can look back and see how far you've come, where you can acknowledge the miracle of still being here, still standing, still fighting, still believing, still creating. This is where you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, where you get to receive the blessings you've been praying for, where you get to experience the breakthroughs you've been working toward. This is harvest season, reaping time, collection period. But here's the beautiful part. You're not hoarding it. You're not becoming selfish with your success. You're paying it forward, helping others the way you wish someone had helped you, sharing what you learned, offering the wisdom you gained, becoming the mentor you needed when you were struggling. This generosity is why your blessings multiply. This open-handedness is why resources keep flowing. You understand that you're blessed to be a blessing, that you received so you could give, that you were helped so you could help others. The victory isn't just personal, it's generational. You broke curses for your bloodline, cleared paths for people coming behind you, set new standards for what's possible. Your success gives others permission to dream bigger. Your breakthrough proves that walls can be broken through. Celebrate yourself. You deserve it. But also remember why you're here. Remember who you're fighting for. Remember the bigger picture. Your victory lap is just the beginning. The real impact is still ahead. Everything you survived brought you to this starting line. This isn't the ending. This is the beginning of something bigger than you imagined. The preparation phase is complete. Now comes the execution phase. The building phase. The manifestation phase. You're standing on the edge of everything you dreamed about, everything you prayed for, everything you worked toward. It's all right there waiting for you to step into it fully. No more hesitation, no more fear, no more doubt, just faith and action and expectation. The tables turned, the weight lifted, the truth revealed, the protection activated, the purpose aligned. Everything needed to happen exactly how it happened to position you for this moment. You're ready now in ways you weren't before. Walk forward with your head high, with your heart open, with your spirit anchored in divine confidence. You're not the same person who started this journey. You're stronger, wiser, clearer, more powerful, more aligned, more certain of who you are and why you're here. People are watching you now, turning their heads to see what you'll do next, holding their breath to see how high you'll climb. Let them watch, let them wonder, let them be inspired by what's possible when you refuse to give up. This is your time, your season, your moment. Everything you need is already inside you. Everything you're called to is already waiting for you. Stop hesitating, stop overthinking, stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start now, move now, create now. The world needs what you carry, the people need what you offer. Your purpose needs your obedience, your destiny needs your cooperation. Give it everything, hold nothing back. This is what you were born for. You came in and clocked the game. You saw through the illusions. You identified the players. You learned the rules. Now you're changing them, creating new standards, setting new precedents, showing what's possible when you move in alignment with divine purpose. Anything you post turns heads because it comes from truth. Anything you create impacts because it comes from authenticity. Anything you build lasts because it's founded on solid spiritual ground. You're not following trends, you're setting them. You're not copying others, you're being imitated. This is just the beginning. The best is yet to come. The greatest victories are still ahead. The biggest breakthroughs are still approaching. Stay ready, stay faithful, stay focused. Your time is now.